Hello again, welcome back. Here we are to continue talking about the Swift programming language. So far we've covered structs, we just covered classes, and we've done a couple challenges with each. What I'd like to talk now about is the biggest difference between structs and classes. And that is that struct is a value type and class is a reference type. So what does that mean? Well, it means that if you create a struct and then you assign it to another variable, you've created a copy, right? So anytime you pass it, but that means like assign it to something else, you're copying it, right? And the copy is distinct and unique from the original. A reference type is different. So a reference type is like not the thing itself, but a reference points to the thing in the memory of the computer. So if you assign the reference to something else, you're really just copying the address of the original. And so two things that point to the same reference, right, are really the same thing, right? So, in the diagram here, you can see that, I have a cup, and if I take this cup and I assign it to this variable, if I fill it, I fill both of them, right? So changing one changes the other. Over here, you can see that if I assign the cup to the variable and then I fill the copy, then, the copy is just filled and the original is unaffected. So that might be hard. This diagram, this animation is okay. It doesn't really get to the depth of it, but maybe it hints at the idea. Let's actually try an experiment to see what is happening here, right? So I'm going to go to my playground here, and let's imagine that I want to create a customer here, and I'm going to say, how about let's actually do var. Let's do var customer A equals customer, and maybe customer A is Alex, and last name is I don't know what a good net. Let's Alex there. It could be your last name. Okay, so and then let's do customer B, right? Customer B equals, instead of making a new customer, I'm going to set customer B equal to customer A, right? Now customer is a class. So if I was to, print out the customer A name, well, first name, right? And then I was to print out the customer B name, they would be the same, right? And that might make sense here. You might think like, okay, well, you just assign customer A to customer B, so they should both be Alex. But what if I did this? What if I decided, I liked the last name of Alex for customer, but I wanted to make the second one, give it a different name, right? So what I'll do is I'll say customer B dot first name equals, let's do Belinda, right? So we got A, B names, right? And now when I print out the names, let's see what happens, right? So actually customer A is now named Belinda and customer B is named Belinda. Weird, right? So what happened there? Well, this customer class, when it's created, it creates a customer in the memory of the computer. Like it, finds a location in memory, it stores some data there, like a first name and a last name. And then the address of that memory, like in that location in memory, is what is stored here. So actually customer A does not contain the first name and last name and the, these properties that you have in your customer class. Instead, it just contains a pointer that locates this information in the memory somewhere. So here, if I take that pointer, the location in memory, and I assign it here, then customer B just points to the same location where all the customer A data is located. You could think about it as like an address on the street, right? If this is like, 123 Main Street, and I take 123 Main Street and I put it in here, then both of these point to the same house on a block somewhere, right? And if I was to change the name of the, on the mailbox of that house, then, it would change for the same address for both of these, right? This is not true for structs, right? So if I find one of our structs here, if I have a struct here that's boba t, let's do the same experiment with a struct. So if I was to say, how about var t a equals boba t, and then I say, let's set the string to, how about black tea and, oops, an extra character there. And then let's set the sweetness level to 23% and has boba to true, okay? And then if I make another var tb and I set this equal to ta, what's happened is I've created a boba drink, and I'm storing that boba drink right here in this variable. And when I assign that boba drink to another variable, I create a copy of it. And that's true because this is a struct, and structs are value types, right? So I take the whole value of this and put it here, right? And that means that if I, if we did the same exact experiment that we did earlier, if I print ta dot t and then print tb dot t, then you'll see that it says black tea and black tea. But if I was to say tb dot t was equal to, let's do green tea, right? Then now when I run this, the first one will be black because ta was not changed, and the second one should be green. Oh, there we go. So we got black tea and green tea, right? So again, that's the difference between a value type and a reference type. So a reference, when you assign it using the equal sign, so if I take one value and I assign it somewhere else, if I assign a reference, then both variables will point to the same thing through the address, right, through the reference. But if you use a struct, and it's a value type, when you assign a value to something else, you assign a brand new value, right? And it's totally separate from the original one. Okay, so thanks for watching, and then we'll continue on to the next section in the next video, and that section will cover enums.